There are two phrases I've been thinking about. Talk is cheap, and the proof is in the pudding. We use these phrases all the time, but when politics comes up, we forget them immediately, especially when we watch debates. Now, one thing about political debates really annoys me. A lot of things about political debates annoy me, but let's stick with one right now. The idea of a winner. But what does winning a debate mean? If you look at some of the reactions, they're all about things that just don't matter. They all embrace cheap talk and ignore whether or not someone can ever deliver on their promises. If a politician was a used car salesman, you'd be so suspicious you'd walk off the lot without even looking at a car. But our politicians get a free pass every time. So the first GOP debate had 1,000 people on the stage talking about some, not all, some of the issues that matter most to conservative voters. They talked about education, illegal immigration, Ukraine, climate change, the weaponization of the DOJ, and UFOs for some reason.
Governor Christie, do you believe that the recent spike in UFO encounters...
I get the UFO question.
But because people have been manipulated into thinking that politics is a reality TV show with good guys and bad guys, and because we've forgotten that talk is cheap and the proof is in the pudding, the media immediately rushed to push the idea that people need to choose a winner. And this is all about the language they use. They don't ask people who spoke to the issues most important to you, or who did you agree with the most. They ask who won. But in a screaming match, what does winning mean? Look at how a lot of people are responding. They're talking about charisma, energy, smiling, hand-waving.
Now they're not doing that, and I think we need to do, and I think our support...
What have any of these things got to do with actually delivering on promises? Nothing. If we're going to talk about debates and winning debates, we need to be looking at this as a battle of issues. A battle for which issues matter most to the conservative movement and what being conservative even means right now. Most people watch these debates and they've already made up their minds. It's kind of like a bunch of people watching their favorite sports teams play while no one is keeping score, and then asking everyone who won. Trump fans think Trump won, even though he didn't show. DeSantis fans think DeSantis won. Vivek Ramaswamy fans think he won. Mike Pence fans think he won. Nikki Haley fans think she won. You get the picture. And if there are any Chris Christie fans out there, they think he won too. But why can't you agree on DeSantis on one issue and Vivek Ramaswamy on another? Why aren't the debates used to gauge which issues matter most in the first place, and which candidate speaks to those issues with more honesty and clarity? Why are debates turned into just a personality competition? Well, because this isn't a bug, it's a feature. There is far more to gain in the world of clickbait if you push debates as a gladiator fight between reality TV characters, where you just grab your soda and popcorn and scream from the sidelines. And politicians play into that too, even though people who actually care about the issues don't want the gladiator match. Listen to how the audience reacted when we stepped into Kardashian land.
Let us be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax. And we have to declare independence for it.
So when people ask me who won, I don't really have an answer, because I'm trying to be honest. Yes, I prefer some candidates over others generally, and I'm not exactly quiet about that, but I care more about the issues than the politician we choose. The question people should be asking me is this: what was the most important moment in the debate when it comes to issues? And my answer here is this one.
Said of Governor DeSantis that you didn't appreciate it when he initially called it a territorial dispute. Why?
First of all, the American president needs to have moral clarity. They need to know the difference between right and wrong. They need to know the difference between good and evil. Right. When you look at the situation with Russia and Ukraine, here you have a pro-American country that was invaded by a thug. So when you want to talk about what has been given to Ukraine, less than 3.5% of our defense budget has been given to Ukraine. If you look at the percentages per GDP, 11 of the European countries have given more than the U.S. But what's really important is go back to when China and Russia held hands, shook hands before the Olympics, and named themselves unlimited partners. A win for Russia is a win for China. We have to know that. Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends. What you do instead is you have the backs of your friends. Ukraine is the front line of defense. Putin has said once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
First of all,
Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 30 seconds. Mr. DeSantis,
Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
I'm not on
but the fact of the matter, Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week, Nikki.
You want to go and defund Israel? You want to
okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
Your watch,
so the reality
make America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy experience that you all have shows in the pointless wars we've gotten into.
And it's not because I agree with Nikki Haley on Ukraine, and it's not because I just enjoyed Vivek Ramaswamy being dunked on. Again, fun, but not what debates are for. It's because foreign policy is the most important part of the president's job. For some reason, every 4 years, we convince ourselves that the man or woman we put in the White House will solve all of our problems. They'll reduce debt and spending, and also give us everything we want. They'll make people patriotic again. They'll stop propaganda in schools. They'll end abortion. It all sounds good, but can they do it? Most of the time, no. Because the people actually controlling these things are not in the Oval Office. They're in the Capitol building, they're in your state houses, they're your local councillors, they're your school boards. But what can the president do? Define and implement American foreign policy. Presidents have far more control over the southern border than spending, and they have far more influence over the war in Ukraine than transgender athletes. So in the next debate, let's not treat this like some weird combination of a professional wrestling match and a smorgasbord of impossible promises. Let's treat it as a sounding board for what they actually have control over. And one of those things is American foreign policy. That's why Nikki Haley versus Vivek Ramaswamy mattered, regardless of whether you agree with either one of them. If they're going to clash, they should clash over stuff that matters and stuff they can actually change. Don't forget, politicians are just salesmen. And how do we judge salesmen? We remember that talk is cheap, and the proof is in the pudding.